Hi, Coachella Valley, and welcome to Live with your Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Katie Stice, CEO with the Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce. And today we have such a special nonprofit to talk with you. No, we are having internet issues. Can you believe it? We need broadband in this valley. I just know that we do. Bear with us, please, though, because we have a great story. It's the Coachella Valley Alzheimer's. They do incredible work. We're going to talk a little bit with our guests today. Let's go ahead and bring them out. Dom Calvano and Mary Willis. Let me just pull up this screen here. Mary is on the advisory board, and Dom Calvano is president of the board. And we're just going to talk a little bit about Alzheimer's, Coachella Valley services, how we can support them, how they're innovating right now. So both of you, welcome so much. It's happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into it. Tell us a little bit about what you all are up to right now and how you've had to change maybe some of your programming to offer your services to the community.
Well, we started Alzheimer's Coachella Valley to basically get people out of isolation and to work with the caregivers and the parents together to alleviate that time at home where they're sitting and doing nothing and not having fun anymore. And then COVID-19 came, right? So everything we had been talking about to help people, we had to say, well, guess what? We're all going to go back in isolation. And that just threw everybody for a curve. So like every other business and nonprofit, we had to resort to Zoom and whatever methods we could online to recreate and redevelop our programs. And it was a challenge. We had to train people. Basically, we had 3 training sessions where we said, okay, everybody at 2:00, we're going to get it together and we're all going to practice our Zoom. And we did it 3 times. So we get this whole thing together and we start carrying on our Club Journey, first of all. So Club Journey is a program where you come to Alzheimer's Coachella Valley and just enjoy yourself. It's a safe environment. It's a place where anything goes. You don't have to worry. We have lunch, we play games, we sing, we play music. It's just a great social gathering. Well, we had to translate that into this online program, and it really, we have about, I would say, 15, 16 couples at a time coming on now, and we're making do. We're figuring it out, yeah, and they're having a good time. We still play games. The only thing is, we don't get lunch, but we're doing the best we can.
Well, it's necessary right now, and good for you guys who are innovating and still making it possible for people to enjoy these services, take part in the community, and I mean, just that social experience is really necessary for everyone. I think you would both agree. It's really hard to be away from the community right now. So to have a community and to work with other folks and people with like-minded experiences, it's only going to make people stronger. So I love that you're just keeping everyone in touch during this meantime as we get back to normal.
Yeah. The support groups have been a very positive source of, I guess, comfort to those that are facing this. See, without the support group, there's just no one to talk to. There's when you get into a support group, you're working with people that are going through the same thing or have gone through this already and can guide others. And it's just comforting to know that there's somebody out there that is in the same situation or has been in the same situation and can answer questions and be a friend. And in these times, I've noticed so much anxiety. And it's not just in dementia patients or their caregivers. I think we're all starting to get to the point now where we really want that connection with people. And ACV more than ever is fulfilling that, even though it is online and it's our last choice, it's still giving people a chance to communicate, you know?
It is. And I just want to tell both of you that we're live on multiple platforms and you're getting just so many accolades. I know you can't see them, I get to, but William Senso from Thousand Palms Chamber says hello. David Conover from Luna Inc. says these people do amazing things and he's a big fan. So I just love that you have cheerleaders out in the community. And I just want to say from my own personal experience, having a family member who's dealt with Alzheimer's, one of the important things we need to mention here today is that there are no survivors of Alzheimer's. And so going through programs like yours where you help families work through this time is so important to take advantage of these resources. And are there costs involved to them, or are they no cost or donation?
Well, we encourage people to donate. We try to get as many grants as we possibly can. We have a lot of individuals that donate to us, but there is never a charge for any of our services. And all the money that we do raise stays right here in the Coachella Valley. And all of our services, I think, are really geared to and on the Coachella Valley. When we started our nonprofit, one of the basic things we needed to do was to educate, and we needed to educate caregivers, and not just family caregivers, but we felt like we needed to educate the paid caregivers too. And me being in-home care, 65% of all of the people that we're taking care of have some sort of dementia. And, you know, caregivers walk into some of these situations, you know, with maybe inappropriate sexual behavior, aggressive behavior, sundowning, any number of things that are just a shock to caregivers, and they don't really know how to deal with these situations. So right on, as soon as we got things going, we had a state-approved CEU caregiver program, training program initiated, and I think one of the last classes we had over 40 people online coming to it. So I know that, you know,
Are, are you even aware of the impact that you're having on so many families and the ripple effect that it has? I mean, to even have that thought about working with the caregivers and making sure that all of the latest care is there and the training is there, that is huge. Thank you so much for doing that. I really didn't even know that was a part of what you did, but the connection with you and assisted care and all of that completely makes sense. I mean, it's really powerful what you just shared. Thank you for that.
sure. We work very closely with College of the Desert. They send their student nurses over and actually get hands-on training with dementia patients, because we knew that there was a need for the hospitals to have understanding of dementia, because caregivers can be laying in a bed somewhere and they really can't communicate what's wrong with them, and they get pushed aside. And so if people know how to communicate, if nurses know how to communicate and see some of the things that are happening at ACV, and that helps train them for when they move on to their career, then we feel like we've, you know, at least started to, you know, fill in the gaps and find ways to
Sure.
find comfort for the dementia patients.
I mean, I would be interested. This is just an off the wall idea, but even I'm not in medical field at all, but I would even be interested in learning more about that type of care, just so that I work in the community so much. And I wonder if even people out there watching today would be interested in learning more so that when we see our neighbors in the community and we might be able to recognize some signs, maybe we can be better neighbors and partners by learning a little bit more about how to approach folks, or maybe what to say, what not to say, or really just how to be of help. I would definitely be interested in learning more. But let's go ahead and talk with Mary Willis on the advisory board. And Mary, I think you're more than just on the advisory board. I feel like we've talked before, and that really helped be the founder of this organization. Is that correct?
Well, as a matter of fact, I got involved because of a very dear friend that was quite involved on the board. And unfortunately, he passed away suddenly, and he had already convinced me that I should be part of it. And when I found out that no one was getting paid, with the exception of one individual, I said, this is for me. I really like an organization where the top isn't taking all the money that you raise. The people are getting the benefit. And so I said, okay, I would get involved. And I'm going back to what Dom said, I think is really important. Rosalind Carter wrote in her book, Helping Yourself, Help Others, there are only four kinds of people in the world: those who have been caregivers, those who currently are caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers. And so, back to what you
Wow.
said, Katie, I think everybody should have the opportunity for the knowledge of caregiving for whatever the purpose might be in the future for them. Because of that, we had one area not being uh, really supported, and that was the bereavement group. And I have done that previously, so the Dom asked me if I would be kind enough to do a support group for bereavement. And it's interesting because a lot of people start their bereavement when someone is diagnosed with whatever the diagnosis might be. And especially when it's a chronic illness that goes on for year after year after year, sometimes your grieving is over before the patient ever passes away.
Oh no, maybe she's going to be back.
Oh,
Mary,
yeah, what happened?
did we lose you?
Yes. Oh,
I can still hear you.
well, good. You don't need to see me. I can talk. What we need though is to have people that are going through bereavement of any kind need to come to the support groups, because there's nothing worse than feeling you're alone and to feel guilty because you have these emotions and these feelings inside of you. I cannot tell you how many people say, oh, I feel so guilty, or I cry because I wish
Hmm.
something would happen so that he wouldn't suffer. I'm watching my loved one die every day. And, you have to have the support of other people and know they're going through it too, because otherwise it's too difficult of a journey to be alone. So I really hope people
And
will come forth, because it will be good for them, and certainly an opportunity to be educated and never feel you're alone, and never feel that whatever you are experiencing is wrong or right, because there is no wrong or right to grieving.
well, Mary, you have just been so eloquent in talking about this, such a serious subject, and all of your hard work. I know you've put in a ton of, volunteer hours, and now heading up this bereavement group. It's really meaningful for our valley, and I'm sure you know that. My question for you is, why do you do what you do?
Well, Katie, I feel that no one is put here on this earth for their self satisfaction. I think everybody's put here to help others. And that's what I have tried to live my life doing. And I think that is the only way to be. The gratification that you get out of helping others surpasses anything you could be, being a selfish human being. So that's why I do it.
Well, I am going to strive to be like you when I grow up and help as many people as possible, because I think that it's also contagious. And when you hear people sharing those stories about volunteering and helping our community, especially those who are really struggling and in need and looking for direction, it just is a magical thing to do. So I thank you so much for all that you do. And Dom, how about you? Why do you do this? I mean, this is a huge job, and I know you've poured your mind, heart, and spirit into it. What keeps you motivated?
Well, as I said before, being in-home care and seeing the struggle day in and day out that not just the dementia patient had, but the caregiver as well. And realizing that, there's a good chance, I guess the figure is somewhere around 70% of the caregivers will pass, before the dementia patient. And that's serious. We talk about finding a cure for Alzheimer's, and we talk about advocacy, and we talk about doing everything we can to find a cure. I really wish we would find a cure, but ACV was formed for the here and now, and for those that really need the help at this moment in time. And that's what keeps me going. Seeing these people come through our doors, with their head hung down and not saying a word. And after a couple of weeks, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're talking again. The spouses are talking to each other again. There's a renewed sense of living. We focus on that. We don't focus on the things that are going to happen and the things that are happening right now. We focus on what can be,
Wow.
and how we can have some fun. And seeing the rewards and the people smiling and happy and walking out the door, that's why I do it.
That is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to tell you, what you just said was like serendipity to me, because in this crisis, there is a lot that we can do for business and nonprofits right now to support nonprofits, to support businesses. And we can't necessarily focus all of our efforts on trying to open the state, because it's not going to happen, right? But focusing on how we can help people through this time is where our chamber has really, just dialed in our efforts. And so that just hits so close to home. And I can completely understand how the day to day you're there for them and how essential that is, bottom line. So say there's folks out there who want to get involved, number one, or just want to support Alzheimer's Coachella Valley. What's the best way they can support you, and what's the best way to learn more?
The best way is to go to the website, and you're seeing the banner go across the bottom of your screen now. Go to the website and watch some of the videos. You can donate on every page. It'll say donate here. We'd love to have any donations we could get. But, like you were saying, Katie, earlier, that it would be nice to learn, more about it. We have a program called Meaningful Conversations, and there's a video that you can watch, and it shows the correct way to sit and communicate with somebody that has dementia, and it shows the wrong way. And it's so enlightening to see, because if people know how to communicate, they're more apt to visit, right? People say, I don't want to go see dad anymore, or I don't want to go see my next door neighbor because he's got dementia. And I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to do. It's so awkward going.
Right.
But if you know how to communicate, then you can be a good neighbor. You can be a good son or daughter. And those kind of things are so important, and very seldom are they taught. And so we saw that those needs, those basic needs needed to be met in the Valley. And so you can go online and you can see who our guest speakers are. You can access our classes. You can exercise with Christy Lynn right in your chair. She gets everybody moving, and it's just a really fun exercise workout. And all of these things are available anytime you want to access them. Just go to the website, cvalzheimers.org, and just spend a few minutes there, and you'll really, I'm sure, get a good feel for the things that we're doing.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just blown away. I'd love to learn more. I would love to invite both of you actually to come back, and maybe we can do a little bit of that where we can start to give some tips on, if you're out there in the community, here are the top 5 basic things you should know while interacting with someone with dementia. Or maybe here are for Mary, maybe here are the top 5 things, if you are going through some bereavement, that will help you, that are great tools for you. Because I think right now it's nice that we can use this platform to get out to a lot of people, and people have a lot of time, it seems like right now, if they're at home. And so maybe we can do even a little mini training about that in a month or so, and just continue to stay in touch and bring that to folks. Would you guys
That would
be
be
willing
great,
to do
Katie.
that?
We'd love to
Absolutely.
do that.
That would be wonderful. That would be really
Oh,
exciting.
good. Well, I think we just create a little series every few months and bring some tips to people, give them little ideas of who you are and who some of the trainers are, and really bring home the day-to-day interaction. We would be happy if you would be part of that. And thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us on. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Katie. Yes, and please,
Absolutely.
anybody you know that
Yes.
needs to join in one of our support groups, and especially my bereavement one, please refer them. We'd love to have them. Okay?
Sounds great. We'll see you both soon, okay?
All right. Bye.
Take care, my friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for dealing with technology issues. I mean, this new virtual world that we live in sure is different, but I think it's something we all need to master and get used to. Thank you so much again to Mary and to Dom for joining us today. Alzheimer's Coachella Valley is a really special organization. We've got some more comments. Oh, there's just a lot of love out there for Alzheimer's Coachella Valley, as you can imagine, by what you just heard. If you'd like to learn more, please do visit their website. And if you're just sitting at home and you're watching this, or you're at work and you want to help this amazing organization, any dollar amount is helpful right now, especially during this crisis for our nonprofits, so that they can continue to really support the Valley with these essential services that do make a difference. Thank you so much for joining us again. I appreciate it. This series is such a great way to help share our community with you. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Be well.